So in this Snare Saturday series, you've seen my first snare drum, the first snare drum I ever built, and now in this video, you're gonna see the first snare drum I ever had built for me. What is going on, everybody? Nick Costa here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you the first snare I ever had built for me, which is a 7x14 solid shell curly hickory from MCD. Like I mentioned in earlier videos, MCD stands for Mastercrafted Drums. We were drum builders based out of Philly, PA, and we specialized in steam bent solid drums. Now before we dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way you're notified of any additional content that I upload to the channel. So around 2010, a friend of mine from college was telling me about a local builder making drums for him. He got me in contact with Mike Mastropietro, the owner of MCD, and after meeting Mike for the first time and playing a gamut of solid shell snare drums, Mike also made some wicked barbecue that day too. I was sold and knew that I needed to get a custom kit from him and a snare drum. Now at the time I was playing in a pop punk band, and as we all know, the majority of those snare drums are tuned pretty tight and have a really loud crack to them. So at the time, Mike's son Kyle was an artist relations representative, and after talking to him and telling him the snare sound that I like, he recommended that I would get a solid curly hickory snare. The reason why is because hickory is a very dense wood, but would give me that loud crack and projection that I was looking for. So originally, I wanted my drum kit to be a bright orange finish with white drips coming down the side looking like a paint can. I then wanted the snare drum to be the opposite, a white drum with orange drips. Luckily for me, Mike talked me out of that, because although I thought that was going to be cool at the time, definitely would have dated itself a bit. So Mike's recommendation was for the orange kit to do a microflake finish that had orange and gold inside of it, and then for the snare drum, do a white shell with orange microflake. And that's exactly what the finish of this drum is. This is a high gloss white painted finish with an orange microflake in the clear coat. Now, of course, over time, the white is starting to age itself, so it's getting a little bit more of a yellow finish, but I think that looks pretty cool. Now, let's talk about the hardware of the drum. Once again, pop punk drummer, tube lugs are a really big thing thanks to Orange County and every other builder building drums based off of what Orange County did. Now, just like the acrylic shell I built, I had the kit 50% offset single-sided tube lugs. For the snare drum, however, I asked for 3/4 offset, or I guess a 1/4 offset, however you want to look at it, just to give it a little bit more of a different look. Once again, this is a solid shell snare drum, and MCD's standard was to use 2.3mm triple flange hoops. That way it allowed the drum to resonate as much as possible. And although this drum originally came equipped with a plastic Nickelworks throw-off, over time when we started to realize that they weren't that durable, and we switched over to Trick, we installed a Trick 3-point position throw-off. Finally, this drum has a 1/2-inch air grommet towards the bottom of the shell, because once again, if you think about this from a physics perspective, you go and strike the drum, top head starts to resonate, travels down the shell, and then gets the bottom head to resonate, and we always wanted to make sure that air escaped towards the bottom rather than the top. Now it's time for the demo. Just like every other snare demo video that I release, I'm gonna play this drum through a few different tunings so that way you can hear the versatility of it. So, enough of me talking, let's dive into the playing. As you can hear, hickory is a very direct sound. Now combine that with being a 1/4 inch thick steam bent solid shell, you now have a really broad tuning range for a drum that won't really choke out. Now with all of that being said, I would love to get your feedback and what you think of this drum, so make sure you leave that in the comment section below, letting me know. Also, if you have any other additional questions, you can also leave that in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer them. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. That way it makes it a little bit easier for others to find it. And if you are interested in seeing older videos from the Snare Saturday series, I've put a link to the playlist in the description below. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on the 7x14 MCD solid hickory snare drum. And until next time, see you later.